because it doesn't curve. The water always finds its level.
What'd your teacher do?
She just didn't talk to me anymore. All she did was walk away. And I was like, what is this about? What?
That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay.
I'm a flat earther. She couldn't do it. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. Because it doesn't curve, the water always finds its level.
What'd your teacher do?
She just didn't talk to me anymore. All she did was walk away. And I was like, what is this about? What?
That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. She couldn't do it.
Up for sound bites. This is awesome.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Anti-Religious Scripture Study with me, Karen B, and of course, Just Jack, Flat Earth.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yep, and in 3 days' time, the renewed moon of the next month will likely be the new year because the barley is nearly Aviv, which means it can be harvested for the first fruit offering, and the year shall begin. Most people who have gone outside in the last couple of weeks know that spring is definitely here. If you haven't, take a walk outside. I'm just saying.
Right.
A lot of changes happening. So, especially here in I'm upstate South Carolina, and Karen's lower state, North Carolina, and you can definitely tell in this region that spring is definitely here. So it's awesome. I guess I'll get my disclaimer out of the way. Just Jack's disclaimer. To the religious, if you believe it's wrong to study the scripture outside of your religion or denomination, if you believe your religious leaders or church fathers are incapable of having inherited anti-scriptural traditions of men, if you've already made up your mind about scripture, including the scripture shouldn't be studied at all, then the stream is not for you. To others, if you are open-minded to others' opinions, if you haven't made up your mind about scripture, if you've been turned off to religion but believe there's truth in scripture that may have been hidden or changed by religion, if you live according to scripture and like to dig in and discover more, then this stream is for you. We are looking at scripture in the original language using concordances or dictionaries for words as well as context from a non-religion perspective. We will as well have life experience discussion. We are not here to argue with others about theology or doctrine by the traditions of men, including Catholicism, Christianity, Islam, or Judaism. We will be discussing the importance of origins and show how religions contradict the scriptures. There you go. Yep. So people commenting in chat about their evidences of spring and time changes tomorrow. Is that the thing locally?
Yes. Yes.
I didn't even know that. I don't even pay attention to that anymore.
I know. I prefer not to pay attention to it, but
I work from home, so I don't really have worry about time. You know, when I wake up and I start working, that's when I start working.
Right.
You know, so I don't really have to pay attention to that much anymore, thankfully. But yeah, there's a very clear distinction. Our chickens are laying much more eggs these days than they were a couple weeks ago. The days are getting longer. The days are getting brighter.
Yes, it's getting warmer. Stuff is growing. I love it.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. I love this time of year. Time change is retarded. Indeed. Like, if we went back to solar timepieces, sundials, we would be a lot more accurate to what is realistic. Because there's 12 hours in the day. It's just the 12 hours are longer in the summer. So that's how it goes. But it's just, they wanted to have a control mechanism, including time. So that's why they invented, seconds. But that's besides the point. But anyway, we are in chapter 32 of Numbers, and you can start reading whenever you want because this is a long one. However, this is them getting ready to cross over, and some tribes prefer to stay inheriting the land before they cross the Jordan, aka the Jordan River. So whenever you're ready.
All right. And the children of Reuben and children of Gad had much livestock, a large number, and they saw the land of Yazer and the land of Gilad, and saw that the place was a place for livestock.
Right. So this Reuben is, typically known in the English Bible as Reuben and God as Gad. And they are obviously, they're into livestock, right? They have multitudes of livestock, and they probably help breed to portion them out to the rest of the tribes. So they would like the expanse of land rather than inhabitable areas. They want land for their flocks to be able to spread out. Anybody who's seen how flocks are raised, you want space.
Right. So the children of God and the children of Reuben came and spoke to Moshe and to Eleazar the priest and to the leaders of the congregation, saying,
just to clarify to people, this is not the children of God in the English.
Right.
Okay. Verse 3.
Atarot and Divon and Yazer and Nimrah and Heshbon and El Aleh and Sabam and Nevo and Bayon.
Very good. So these are land distinctions. Okay. Not exactly sure how that lays out, because if you look at different maps from the past, there's different layouts of where people think these places were. But just know they're before the Jordan. So
The land which Jehovah has stricken before the congregation of Israel is a land for livestock, and your servants have livestock.
So the land that was stricken is because they were at war with the people, before they got there, and then because they were victorious, now they have that land available to them. Verse 5.
And they said, if we found favor in your eyes, let this land be given to your servants as a possession, and do not let us pass over the Jordan.
Okay, so that's a big deal, right? Passing over the Jordan is the promised land, right? It's the land flowing with milk and honey, where it's what they've been in the desert for all this time to accomplish, to cross over the Jordan. And Passover is a bad translation. It's crossover, which cross is because Passover is Pesach, which is the feast of Passover, right?
Mm-hmm.
But crossover is the root of it is Ever, which is where we get Ivri, aka Hebrew. So it means to Hebrew the Yarden, which is why they're called the Hebrews when they cross through the Sea of Reeds and then the Yarden as well. So that word is important as far as being Hebrew to cross over. All right, verse 6.
And Moshe said to the children of God and to the children of Reuven, are your brothers? Well, is that not how it's pronounced?
That is it. It just sounds like my mind, like stop saying God, but it is God. That's what it says.
I know. Yeah. Should I say it the other way?
No. It's what it says. It's just triggering to me,
All right. Are your brothers to go into battle while yourselves sit here? While you yourselves sit here.
Right. So you're saying like all of us should go to war and you're just going to chill back here? Like that's not cool. Right. And just for people in the audience, that's triggering to me because people who allegedly worship the deity of the Bible call him God, and God literally means of prosperity or fortune. So the deity of fortune is the deity of money, which, on the money it says in God we trust, in prosperity deity we trust. So that's why it's triggering to me. It's not the words itself, it's just what it's been redefined as. Okay.
Right.
Verse 7.
Now, why do you discourage the heart of the children of Israel from passing over into the land which Jehovah has given them?
Because if you're okay, so we're talking like 12 tribes, right? And two of them, are saying, we're going to stay here. You guys go ahead. Of course, that would discourage the rest of the tribes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do you think you're better than us? Why should we have to go over there and you not, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Verse 8.
Thus your fathers did when I sent them away from Kadesh Barnea to see the land.
Okay, so Moshe is calling back to when he sent the spies.
Mm-hmm. For when they went up to the Wadi Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Israel so that they did not go into the land which Jehovah had given them. Then the displeasure of Jehovah burned on that day, and he swore an oath, saying, not one of the men who came up from Mitzrayim from 20 years old and above is to see the land of which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, because they did not follow me completely. Except Caleb, son of Yepuneh, the Kenizzite,
Yeah, it's Yefuneh and Kenizzite, yeah.
And Yehoshua, son of Nun, for they have followed Jehovah completely.
And Yehoshua is the same name as AKA Jesus. Yeah. Okay.
So the displeasure of Jehovah burned against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years until all the generation that had done evil in the eyes of Jehovah was destroyed. And see, you have risen in your father's place an increase of men, sinners, to add still more the burning displeasure of Jehovah against Israel.
Okay, this is the opinion of Moshe. This is not thus saith Jehovah.
Right.
Just to clarify that. 15.
For if you turn away from following him, he shall once again leave them in the wilderness, and you shall destroy all these people. Then they came near to him and said, "Let us build a sheep enclosures here for our livestock and cities for our little ones."
Okay, this is walled. Okay, so walls for our flocks or herds, right? And then cities for our round skippers. Yeah, children.
But let us ourselves be armed, hastening before the children of Israel until we have brought them to their place, and our little ones shall dwell in the walled cities because of the inhabitants of the land.
Okay. So in other words, just let us protect what we have here, not let them come with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we'll arm ourselves. Arm ourselves is to draw out, right? To draw swords or whatever. So 18.
We shall not return to our homes until every one of the children of Israel has received his inheritance.
Okay.
For we shall not inherit with them on the other side of the Jordan and beyond, because our inheritance has fallen to us on this eastern side of the Jordan. And Moshe said to them, "If you make this promise, if you arm yourselves before Yehovah for battle, and all your armed ones pass over the Jordan before Yehovah until he has driven out his enemies from before him, and the land has been subdued before Yehovah, then afterward you shall return and be guiltless before Yehovah and before Yisrael, and this land shall be your possession before Yehovah."
All right. So if you do as you say, then when we're done, conquering the land, then you can go back to what you said. All right.
But if you do not do so, then see, you shall sin against Yehovah, and know your sin is going to find you out.
And sin is being a distance from Jehovah.
Build cities for your little ones and enclosures for your sheep, and do what you have promised. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben spoke to Moshe, saying, "Your servants are going to do as my master commands."
One moment. The promise is purpose from your mouth that you've made. Just to let you know. Yes, that's a mouthful, but you do purpose out from your mouth what you've made. You've made a purpose from your mouth, not a promise, but basically the same thing. What you've said, you're gonna do. And this is actual commands. Unlike the 10 commands that says 10 words, this actually says the mitzvah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is command. And this is Adonai, right? This is Adonai right here. Master.
Mm-hmm.
In KJV, Lord. If you look here, and I'll go to the Strongs and pull that up so people can see it. Adon
Mm-hmm.
means from one to rule, sovereign, that is controller, not referring to the creator at all, right? Just pointing that out there because they do that replacement with the creator's name and call him Lord,
Right.
Where this actually is Lord and commandments, but it has nothing to do with the creator and his commands. All right,
All right.
26.
Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our livestock are going to be there in the cities of Gilad. But your servants are passing over, every armed one of the army, before Yehovah to battle, as my master says.
Okay, again, this is Ivri, Hebrew over. Just FYI. And this is Adonai again. So they're talking to Moshe as Adonai, not Yehovah as Adonai. All right.
All right. And Moshe gave command concerning them to Eleazar and the priest, to Yehoshua son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel.
So he's making sure all the people that are, keeping order around there know all the information.
Mm-hmm. And Moshe said to them, "If the children of Gad and the children of Reuben pass over the Jordan with you, every man armed for battle before Yehovah, and the land has been subdued before you, then you shall give them the land of Gilad as a possession."
Right.
But if they do not pass over armed with you, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan.
If they do not cross over to draw out. Yeah.
Then the children of God and the children of Reuven answered, saying, As Jehovah has said to your servants, so we do.
Okay, so here they're swearing by his name, which a lot of people get that confused because of religion twisting the words of the scripture that you're not supposed to swear by the creator's name.
Mm-hmm.
You are. You just better be legit about
Right.
it.
You better do what you say.
Pretty serious swear.
We ourselves are passing over armed before Jehovah into the land of Canaan, but the possession of our inheritance remains with us beyond the Yarden.
Okay.
So Moshe gave to the children of God, to the children of Reuven, and to half the tribe of Manasseh,
Yep.
son of Joseph, and reign of Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, and the reign of Og, sovereign of Bashan, and the land with its cities within the borders, the cities of the land round about.
Right. And it is often pronounced Og, but it's actually Og.
Og.
But yeah, so not only did he give it to God and Reuven, but half the tribe of Manasseh as well. So that's important to know that they're on the other side of the Yarden in future chapters, but we won't get into that. There's a test that happens when children of Manasseh, when they're fighting with other parts of Israel, that they do like a language test, and if they can't say the sh sound or they can't say the s sound, I can't remember which one it is. It's hard to remember right now, but that's how they would figure out from which side of the Yarden they were from, because the language changes in a few generations. Distinctional, accents, right?
Mm-hmm. And the children of God built Divon and Atarot and Aroer.
Yeah.
And a
Aroer. Yeah.
And Atrot, Shofan, and Yazer, and Yogbaha.
Yeah.
And Beit Nimrah and Beit Haran, walled cities and enclosures for sheep.
Yeah, Beit means house. So the house of Nimrah and the house of Haran.
And the children of
those are locations of lands.
Okay. And the children of Reuven built Heshbon and El Aleh and Kiriataim. I can't. Kiriataim.
Very good.
Nevo and Baal Maon, the names being changed, and Shivma, and they gave other names to the cities which they built.
Right. So Baal Maon is Lord. Right. Baal means Lord. In King James Version, they have it as one word. Baal Maon. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at that, Lord of the abode.
Their home.
So it's Lord of the abode.
Hmm.
But what Lord are they speaking of? Don't know. It's generic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's what's dangerous about, saying generic terms like Lord. All right, 39.
And the sons of Machir, son of Manasseh, went to Gilad and took it and disposed the Amorites who were in it. And dispossessed? Is that what it say? And dispossessed, the Amorites who were in it.
Dispossessed. This says captured, so I don't know what dispossessed is. I guess they just copied it from the King James. That's what they have, dispossessed.
That's
but
weird.
Captured.
So Moshe gave Gilad and Machir, son of Manasseh, and he dwelt in it.
Okay.
And Yair, son of Manasseh, went and took its small towns and called them Hawot Yair.
Yeah, and it's actually Havot, and Havot is the same as um if you remember way back in Genesis when the garden situation happened and they were being kicked out, she was named Hava, life bringer. And this is Havot, so plural of the lives of Yair.
Hmm. And Novah went and took Kenat and its villages and called it Novah after his own name.
All right, there we go. Yeah, and like I said, the names of the towns get confusing when you start looking at maps, like where were these located. There's, different maps that show them in different places, but I mean, it's just basically everything on this side of the Yarden, on the opposite side of Canaan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because these townships, there's still townships there, but there's nothing to tell you, oh, the name of this town is this, the name of this town is this, and da da da. They don't have that. However, they have the remains of the towns in those locations. All right. Over to chat. Shout out to Zachary Zabala, Dennis Amarin, Stationary Pizza, Captain Construction, FE Nation, Voy, NDB, Aisling717. What's up, Kimmy? Jay, Joe Nugent, Valley Parks, Caleb. Go Caleb. Caleb said, go Caleb. Catherine MC, Joseph Osborne. Don't know if I already called him out, but just in case, Joseph Osborne, Southern Belle, Effed Up World, and Chicago Artist. All right. Shout out to all y'all. Happy New Year. I hope that you're enjoying the change of the season. We're going to be able to start seeing the sun rising and setting north of the east and west, right? That's what's gonna happen. Heading more north. All right, I don't see any real questions. Yep, that's it. So, for those of you who want to know more about the calendar, we've done a few streams about them. So just go back and in the descriptions of the videos, they say like Happy New Year or the Torah calendar or the Moedim. So all you got to do is go back and look for those in the description. But y'all have a restful day, and we'll see you next time.
Is that it? We're already done?
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Well, I didn't want to go through the whole spreadsheet again. I did have it up just in case we were, but I do understand we got to keep moving through the readings. So
Yeah.
basically, the barley is near Aviv, and it has to be Aviv for the first fruit offering in order to know that the new year is here. And you wait for the renewed moon, which will happen Monday night, and then that means Tuesday will be the first day of the year, and then 2 weeks later, on the 14th day is Passover. Then the 15th day begins the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is a week long. The first and last day are non-serve all work days. So that's enough to get people started anyway. But that is all coming up. It's a busy time for us. It's good times. Aisling717 says I like spreadsheets. I have lots of them about lots of different subjects, but yep, the earth is still flat, and we can tell because it's fixing to be spring, because that's what it does. That's what it does. No matter how much they try to push certain agendas about their weather manipulations and whatnot, it still proceeds. The clock keeps on ticking. They can't stop it.
Right.
So
All right.
Good times, good times.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for another episode of Anti-Religious Scripture Study. And we'll see you next time and have a restful day.
Shabbat shalom.